Welcome to the Morale Booster Network, a platform for entrepreneurs, career professionals, leaders, and the general public to give back to the society through coaching and mentoring. I remain your host, Dr. John Ugulu. I am an author, speaker, and strategist. I always say experience is the best teacher. You can stream or download this podcast from YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Player FM, and Pandora. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Morale Booster Podcast. I am Dr. John Ugulu, your host. Today, we are thrilled to welcome our special guest, Dr. Tahira Lee. Let's embark on this inspiring journey together. If you are just joining me for the very first time, I want you to please like and share this broadcast. And here is the reason why. It's because you might just be saving the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message that we will be sharing today. So our guest once again is Dr. Tahira Lee. Dr. Lee, widely known as the Real Hope Doc, is a trailblazing youth and community advocate, dynamic TEDx speaker, and influential member of both the Forbes Council and the CEO Chicks Network. And now, as the CEO and co-founder of Hope Enterprises, Dr. Lee has dedicated her life to fostering health, opportunity, prevention, and empowerment within communities. Her extensive experience, combined with her personal commitment to family and community, has made her a respected leader and role model. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I make welcome no other person but Dr. Tahira Lee. Doc, welcome to the Morale Booster Podcast.
Oh, wow, Dr. John, you almost made me cry. Okay. I said I was fighting back the tears. Thank you for that immaculate introduction. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here with you in the audience.
You're very welcome, and you're doing amazingly well. Before we got on live, you said something about nonprofits. Running a nonprofit business is not one thing that can make you rich, but you empower lives. So, in my opinion, empowering lives, uplifting people is the true definition of wealth. So, that's my own opinion. What do you think about that?
I received that, Dr. John. I say I'm a wealthy woman. And they're like, "What? You
Yes.
wealthy money? Let me get like no. When you wealth is a mindset, just like you said, impacting lives. Because when we impact one life, it has the ability, the opportunity to impact 1,000, 1,000,000. You know what I mean? So that's where the wealth is, the generational wealth. I tell my family, my friends, my coworkers, my collaborators that we have to really redefine what wealth is, especially here in America, the United States, where we're so capitalistic, right? Who has the fastest, most expensive car? Who has the biggest house? No, absolutely not. Wealth is a mindset, and the generational wealth that we're passing down is how do you treat yourself? How do you treat others? How do you teach your legacy, your children or your grandchildren to be contributors of society? So that's what I believe. Wealth is a mindset. It's not about the money you got in your bank.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And once again, welcome to the Morale Booster Podcast. Working with children means you are focusing on developing future leaders. A wise person once said, I think that was Yeah, it said, if your plan is to, that's Confucius. Confucius said that. He said, if your plan is to, um, if your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. But if your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. And he went further to say, but if your plan is for 100 years, educate the children. And that's what you're doing now. You're educating the children. It means your plan is for the future, for the next generation, for the next generation. And that's what we need to encourage a lot of people to emulate, to sow seeds into the future generation. But thank you so much, Doc. We really do appreciate you.
Absolutely. You just
Uh,
hit the nail on the head with the hammer. We've got to not just plant for today. We got to
mhm.
plant for tomorrow, and then tomorrow's tomorrow, and then generations to come, because you and I come into this space, and we're all just space, right? When you look up in the sky, you see all the stars. You see they're not crowded, they're not bunched, because there's space for everyone.
Yes.
And all the
Yes.
stars, they all shine. This star is not saying, hey, I'm going to dim this star's light. There's space for everyone. What are we going to do with that space and time? So thank you for making such an impactful use of your space. You've
Great. Thank you,
created a
man.
ripple effect. So thank you.
That's it. That's it. You're welcome. So now your work as the Real Hope Doc and your leadership in Hope Enterprises reflects a deep commitment to fostering growth and empowerment. So, can you share how cultivating a growth mindset has shaped your personal journey and professional success?
What a great question. First of all, you just have the best questions. I've been listening to all your podcasts. Personally, in my humble opinion, it's mindset over everything, right? So when you cultivate a growth mindset, not only can you overcome challenges that's in your personal life, but also in your professional life. From the very beginning, I embraced the idea that if I line up my thoughts, if I line up my mind to the trajectory of with the path that God has put me on, that I can do anything. And I said, if I can do it, because if God can show one person, then there's facts and there's proof that another person can do it. So when you take that growth mindset and you teach it to others, guess what? You have an army, a legion of growth set minders. Okay, that's what I call them, growth set miners. Okay, and that's how we were able to build the enterprise over the past decade. Um, Super excited to know that all 22 are educators, 12 support staff, and several volunteers, that they all adapt that. They have that growth mindset. So it can, if there's a will, there's a way. If you're willing, you can adopt it. Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you cannot, you are right. So when you have the way will surely come. And when your why is there, when your why is big enough, you would always find the how. So thank you so much for sharing that. All right, let's go to my next question. You have worked extensively in community advocacy and leadership roles. What strategies do you use to maintain a growth mindset when you're faced with challenges, both personally and in your efforts to empower communities?
Ooh, child, adversity comes, right? The
Mhm.
creator said that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. He never said that the weapons would not form. Okay. But when you have the knowledge and you apply it, that's power. So the two tools in my strategy tool belt that I use the most are adaptability and resilience. Okay. You have to be able to adapt your mindset And by staying the course, by not saying, "Oh my God, this challenge, this obstacle, it's so heavy, it's so hard, I'm gonna just stop." No, you gotta look at that thing and say, "Hey, let me focus on the solutions, not the problems." Because for every problem, there's a solution, and there's multiple solutions. You just have to be willing to dig deep and investigate which is going to be the best solution that not necessarily is going to give me the maximum reward for the minimal effort, but what's going to be the best for the greater good, right? So yeah, those are two tools in my tool belt: being adaptable, flexible, and resilient. When I get knocked down, I get back up. It's not about being knocked down or knocked out. It's about having the courage and the strength and the growth mindset to get back up and to try again and look for the lessons. All right, that didn't work. What's the other solution? Let me try that. And you just never give up. You can't fail if you don't quit.
I love that. Thank you so much. Adaptability and resilience. Now, to everybody who's listening to us right now, please, if you have not already shared this broadcast, I want you to do that. Like and share it. Leave a comment and share it. And here's the reason why. You might just be saving the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message that Dr. Tahira Lee will be sharing today. Take it as your charitable work for today. We're not charging you to share it. It's free. Just share it. Do it as a work of charity today or for December. God bless you all. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're still live with Dr. Tahira Lee. She is the founder and CEO of the Real Hope. She is the Real Hope Doc, and the organization is a nonprofit organization, and their website is available for you. It's morehopenow.com. Morehopenow.com. She's also on Instagram and LinkedIn. You can follow her on Instagram with the contact information that is currently being displayed right in front of you. Thank you so much. Go follow her now. All right, Doc, I've got another question for you. And my question is, now, through Hope Enterprises and your advocacy work, you inspire countless individuals. So, how do you encourage a growth mindset in the youth and communities you serve, particularly in overcoming systemic challenges? How do you
Oh man,
encourage?
another
Yes.
I was gonna say another amazing questions. Listen, I need to take some notes on these questions, okay?
Not a
um,
problem at all.
so in the communities that I serve, I really encourage the growth mindset by reminding them that you are not your past. You are not your mom, you're not your dad, you're not their failures, their perceived failures. You're not your grandparents' failures. You're not the mistakes you did yesterday or last year, that you have the ability to make changes and chart your own course. I speak life. I come into any situation, I speak life over that because I do believe that life is in the tongue, right? We have the ability to speak negatively or positively over our situations. The brain is going to fall in line. The mindset is going to fall in line, but it starts with the verbalization of you speaking life over that situation. So that's the main way that I teach children and the youth to kind of reframe and boost up the morale, okay, for that mindset. Is because the brain really doesn't know the difference. The brain is so powerful that you can teach it to do whatever you want it to do, but you got to train it. You have to unlearn, you have to relearn. So through several practices and an amazing team, like at our school, for example, Hope House University, is they spend weekly sessions with their behavioral health coach, their peer pathway coach, and they're academic coach, and they're all life coaches certified, right? But they also have specialties in those other things, so that every touch that they get from every administrator, every teacher, every mentor, that they have and they possess the growth mindset so that they can continue to encourage and cultivate that. So I think that's another important way to make sure that everybody that's touching anyone in your circle, that they don't have to be in the same like paragraph, but they have to be in the same book, right? So that's how we do it.
Yeah, that resonates with me. And you talked about speaking life over that, speaking life
Mhm.
into that. Um, that works. That resonates with me. I get to pray with my kids every day, every morning. We, I get to pray with them, speak to God to help them discover their gifts, to help them, develop their gifts, and to help them deploy their gifts at the right time. So, and you emphasized on the fact that words are powerful. So that's a great strategy. Speaking life,
Amen.
reassuring them, helping them boost their morale with words. And you also talked about life coaching services, which is key. And most parents, too many parents right now, do not even know about life coaching services. They don't even know about, and I don't even know if the schools, you know, do anything
You
to
know,
include that in the curriculum. But like for me, I make sure I take it upon myself to always make sure the kids that I have access to, I speak that into them. So what you're doing is awesome. It is amazing, and I hope that people will be reaching out to you to figure out ways in which they can key into these your strategies and collaborate with you, not only to help their own children, but to help the children within their community. So thank you for all you do, man. God bless you.
amen. From your lips to God's ears. Come on,
Amen.
Dr. John.
Amen.
He got a hotline. He got a backdoor number. Come on.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. So yeah, we're currently streaming on multiple platforms, 20 plus platforms, but only three are video platforms, others are audio platforms. So yes, it's definitely somebody right now who's been impacted by all what you've been saying. And that's what this program is all about, bringing people like yourself to come here and share wisdom and knowledge to empower people you never can tell who needs the information. All right. So, ladies and
Amen.
gentlemen, if you are still with us, please remember, like and share it. Like the broadcast, leave a comment, and share it because you might just be saving the life of that one person. All right. Let's go to my next question, Doc. As a member of the Forbes Council and CEO Chicks Network, you are surrounded by influential leaders. How do you apply the principles of a growth mindset to inspire collaboration and innovation within these circles? How do you inspire your team and your collaborators?
Yes, absolutely. So you have mentioned two of my most favorite membership networks. I have three. I have one other that you didn't mention. It's the Future Rich Aunties community. They're on Instagram, they're on social, they're on YouTube. It's really a collaborative of women that have the rich mindset. And when we talk about riches, we're not talking about money again. We're talking about they have access to turnkey approaches to tools and they share it. The grant, hey girl, this grant right now with Verizon, easy apply. You don't need the 5,000. Go ahead, do the deadline. And if you need help, I'll show you how to do it. Or better yet, I'll do it for you if you don't have time. Okay, that's the rich aunties. But to mention the CEO Chicks Network, which is founded by my sis and longtime friend Colleen Otero, which started this in a small group of people. Now they have thousands of members all over the world of women, black and brown, and they're now integrating men and partners, right, to the movement. So it beyond CEO chicks, also a collaborative sharing the tools and the knowledge. And then Forbes Black, listen, they've been here forever, right? But by being in and a part of these communities and these groups, it has allowed me to practice on a frequent basis this growth mindset through collaboration and innovation. The literally the tagline for CEO Chicks is collaborate, create, and dominate. Right? With the right set of tools, you could do anything. And that's what's all of these organizations, these groups that I'm a member of, it gives you the tools so that you can go into the industry that God has placed you in, that you said yes to the calling to dominate. He has given us the authority to take dominion over things and for good and for the upliftment of the people, the community as a whole. So I definitely encourage the audience, if you're not part of a group, if you are of the growth mindset, that you can do more together than you can as a solopreneur, right? Um, so I encourage you, and a lot of these, like these organizations that I belong to, when I tell you the investment, and we're talking about cost now, the investment, I call it investment because if you're not investing in yourself, what are you doing? The first part of investment is invest me. So invest in you. I'm gonna invest in me, invest in you. Investment is less than a cup of coffee. Are you serious? I have been able to get my return on my investment thousandfold with the amount of the investment that I put into these organizations. So I definitely highly encourage the audience. I know that you are a part of a plethora of groups. I saw that. So yeah, absolutely. What I've learned through these groups is be open to new ideas. That you know what, you want to be surrounded by people who are you're not the smartest in the group, because if you're the smartest in the group, where are you growing? And if you're not growing, you're dying. Evolve or die. That's literally on a t-shirt that we sell. Evolve
I
or die.
love that. Evolve or die. The day a
Yes.
man or a woman stops learning, the day they stop evolving, then they start dying. I love that. And you
Yes.
emphasized on the importance of personal development. Yes. And you talked about whatever amount of money one spends in personal development cannot be considered as an expense, but rather an investment. So, why do you think people find it challenging to invest in their personal development? And what can they do to have
I
a
think
mindset shift?
I think the first thing is to know that you are worthy. I think the reason why people don't invest in themselves is because it's a self-worth issue. They do not understand that they descend from kings and queens. They don't understand their lineage. They don't understand who they are and who they come from and where they belong, who they belong to. Right? So it's easier to invest. Oh, that expensive, the trend, this status symbol, that whatever. I'd rather invest in that because I place worth on that versus place worth on myself, which is the whole reason why the first 13 weeks. So our school is divided into 3 semesters. They're 13 weeks each. 13 weeks. The first semester, there's no academics. It's just stripping down the traumas, the generational curses, teaching them about mindset, the growth mindset, about social emotional intelligence, how they connect to themselves, the purpose, and the planet. And then once all of that is figured out, once their mental health counseling, which is a requirement, not an option, and all those course pathways are defined and designed, then you go on to designing your curriculum that works on your brain, how your brain works, because there are 1,000 plus learning styles. Then the second and third semester, they're hitting hard in the paint on continue to design that life that God has created for them. Well, that's specifically the reason why that we designed it that way, because we wanted to get to the root of the problem. The root of the problem was that, especially with the introduction of social media, So many lies have been told, so many variations of the truth. They don't know who to believe, what to believe, whatever. So, hey, let me sort that out for you. Matter of fact, when you are in the comfort of your own home, logging into or wherever you are, you might be on the beach. Heck, go where learning is optimal for you. It might be on the beach. For me, it's on the beach. Okay, I learned the best on the beach. Um, and you're not going to have the distraction because there's software that disables the social media apps. So there's no interference, no distractions from your learning. Now you can just connect directly to your purpose, what you call your path and your learning. And now you're able to take that information and practically use it. But first you got to know who you are. Self-worth. That's long story short, is self-worth. People don't do it because they don't know that they're worthy.
Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. Self-worth. It is self-worth that would make one go out without looking too flashy and still be confident in themselves because they know who they are. It is self-worth that would make one not rely on driving fancy cars to be recognized. Even when you're riding a bike, when you get to a place, you already know your self-worth. You know what you're capable of bringing to the table. You know what you know who you are, you know where you're from, and you know that those other things, your worth is not tied to all that. So self-worth is good, and I always encourage people, look into the personal development space. It does a lot. When I got into the personal development space, my life changed, and it's the fruit I'm reaping right now. Personal development space made me understand that I could transition from an immigrant to a university founder. It made me understand that I could transition from a shy person to a public speaker. It made me understand that I could transition from a college dropout to a PhD. So I'm not saying all this to impress anybody who's listening. I am just saying it so that you would know that if I could do it, it means you can do it, right? But what led to all that transformation? Not just the information. Information alone does not lead to transformation, but conversion of that information is what leads to transformation. So I always encourage people, you who's listening to us right now, go into the personal development space. Look for life coaches like Dr. Tahira Lee. Reach out to her. Tell her, hey, I want to have the confidence that you have. I want to know how you were able to transition from where you were to where you are. Everything starts by asking questions. Is that correct, Doc?
Absolutely. What an incredible testimony because you brought from a college dropout to a PhD. Listen, if God could do it for one, he could do it another. Like I don't know if you know the whole story, but I was homeless for 3 years. I was a drug addict for 3 years. I was abused. I was raped. I was molested. All the things that you can name that is bad for happened to a person, it happened to me. But I came on the other side of that thing because I tapped into a power and realized that who is in me, who is in me, right? So thank you so much for sharing that. And God could do it for the both of us, the audience, the listeners, the children that are not even born yet. He will do it for them. I believe that. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
you're just a blessing.
Oh, oh, you're welcome, ma'am. And I appreciate your strength. And, you know, challenges don't look like us at all because you don't even look like someone who has been through all those challenges. And wow, I must say you are indeed a superwoman. So keep being the light that you are. Keep being the voice of the voiceless. Keep being hope for the hopeless. And yeah, God
Making
will
me cry.
definitely. Um,
Happy tears though, because you
yes,
remind me of the greatness and goodness of God and why I'm in community. We have never met, and to
yes.
find out that we are less than an hour apart, I definitely am looking forward to collaboration, creating and dominating with you. So thank you so much again.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for all you do. So yeah, let me, ask you my last question so I don't take the whole day. I know you have a lot of work to do. I know you are a family oriented person. So your dedication to family and community is central to your mission. So how has having a growth mindset helped you balance your personal commitments with the demands of being a CEO, a speaker, and everything? So, how have you been able to create this work life family flow?
Oh wow, that's such a great question because I think that's the number one thing women in leadership and men in leadership face is how do you balance the demands? As you know, this CEO hat comes with a lot of hats. Sometimes we got to be the COO, the CFO, the admin assistant, everything, right? Especially when there's gaps maybe in our staffing. But family first. We have this model that says family FOE. We love acronyms at the Hope House. Okay. FOE means family over everything else. So we tend to the family first. The growth mindset has allowed me to balance my professional and my personal commitments because I've learned about time management. I've learned the tricks on how to use net time, which is no extra time, which is you really got to get good at planning and being strategic and being really good at saying no. Sometimes you have to say no to grow, right? No, I can't do that and do this because my family is first because I already said FOE. And if I don't, the community starts at home. If you can't grow your own garden, how you expect to go in somebody else's garden and show them how to cultivate, right? So that is, it just reminds me of that I can grow and adapt and maintain healthy business and personal relationships, even if I have to list it to live it. I live and die by my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, Dr. John, it's not happening. I schedule date nights on my calendar to make sure that it happens because I'm so focused on putting my family first. So
I love that. I'm like that too. I always tell people, look, please, if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening because we only have 24 hours a day, only 24 hours, no more, no less. So if we cannot organize it, at least that's one thing we can control. We know we cannot control time. I cannot control time. You cannot control time. Those who are listening to us cannot control time, but we can
yeah,
control our activities, right? So if it's not on my planner, it's not happening. Like it's not happening because I am programmed. And I have to be
you got
able to utilize my 24 hours well. So thank
absolutely.
you so much for sharing that. You talked about family over everything. FOE. Ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen, write this
FOE.
down. Write this down from wherever you're listening to us. FOE. Family
Yes,
over everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Family first. That way, it will
family
be
first.
easier to work on our work life flow. I know there is no such thing as a work life balance, but there is a work life flow.
Yes. That's the biggest myth, the biggest lie they ever told. Oh, work-life
Yes.
balance. No,
Mm-mm.
there's priorities and commitments, and you decide the order, right? There's a flow to things. And like I said, mother motto, you got to say no to grow. I used to be a net yes person to say yes to everything until I landed in the hospital. And really, the diagnosis, they couldn't find out what it was, but we know it now to be burnout, you know. So no,
Yes,
I'm getting
I
to the
am
age.
actually writing. Yeah, burnout is real, and organizations are not talking about it. I'm actually writing a book on burnout. Um, Typically, my goal is to publish one book every year, but for 2025, by the grace of God, I'm positive that I will be able to put out two books. One of them is burnout, and the other one is leadership. Because I am focusing more on leadership. So, but burnout is very, very important. I've had the opportunity of working for corporate America, and I know that it needs to be looked into. So, yeah, I'm writing a small book on that. So, thank you so much, Dr. Tahira Lee. It's been a pleasure having you here. How can people reach out to you? Is it best to follow you on Instagram or LinkedIn?
So right now, my LinkedIn is popping right now. I hired some or partnered with, I should say, some amazing LinkedIn gurus, but really
Mm,
LinkedIn is probably like number two. Instagram is number one, and then I'm trying to drive more visitors to my website. I'm kind of old school like that, right? So
yes.
morehopenow.com. We're in the midst of our fundraising campaign where we are less than 20 days away from the biggest launch of Hope Enterprises ever. And we're just asking the community that, hey, if you like what you hear today, if you are a community advocate, we're just asking for $7. $7, morehopenow.com. And because we believe if everyone does a little bit, no one has to do a lot, right? And it's for the kids, it's for the it's for the future. If you're a future builder, if you're a light worker, then there's no excuse. I'm charging you. I'm charging you. So that's it.
Yes, it's an investment. It's an
Hmm.
investment. We must invest in doing good things. We must invest in our personal development. We must invest in the kids, in the community. We must invest in the people that are helping us create a safe haven. We must invest in the people that are helping us keep the community safe. So, yeah, it's an investment. So, thank you so much for sharing. And, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. And I know that somebody has actually been blessed here, one way or the other. So please remember to leave a comment, like, and share this broadcast if you have not already done that. And I also want you to go follow us on our YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, and all those social media platforms that we are currently connected on. And thank you so much, Doc. It's been a pleasure. I hope when next I invite you, you will be willing to come back to share some words of wisdom.
Oh, you absolutely, absolutely. You say the word, I'm there. You're stuck with me now. You're, hey, I warned you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. And I know we would collaborate. So I actually look forward to future collaborations, long term collaborations. That's what it's all about. So thank you
Absolutely.
once again. Yes, thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, please go follow her on Instagram, LinkedIn. And if you've got any questions for her, please feel free to contact her. Send her a DM and she will respond to your message her earliest convenience. And for those of you who would like to be part of the communities that she's a member of, like the rich aunts, the rich aunties, reach out
Yes,
to
the
her
rich
as
auntie.
well. Yes, reach out to her as well. So thank you everybody for joining us. I always say whatever has a beginning surely has an end. So we are excited to share some amazing ways for you to stay connected with our mission and continue to grow together. Your support, yes, you who's listening, your support and engagement means the world to us. And here are ways you can get involved in what we do. The first one is you can support our mission and help us continue uplifting lives by making a donation. Your generosity allows us to keep spreading hope and positivity. Nothing is too small. If you want to make a donation today, or when next you want to make a donation to a nonprofit and you choose us, visit our website, www.johnuhulu.com, and you click on donate, and it will take you there. Secondly, if you're looking for some inspiration, check out our collection of inspirational books that are designed to motivate and encourage you on your journey. You can access these books on the same website, www.johnuhulu.com, www.j JOHNUGHULU.com. And if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to us as well. Then, thirdly, you can tune into our latest podcast episodes where we share powerful messages of hope, resilience, and personal growth. You can download this podcast from our website, johnugulu.com, or you go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all the podcast platforms. Last but not the least, you can become a part of our growing community. If you're looking for a community where you want to be uplifted, I invite you. You can be part of our community where we uplift and inspire one another every day. You can subscribe today for just $10 monthly and receive exclusive content, daily motivation, and access to special events. Special events like you could be nominated for annual awards, the President's Lifetime Achievement Awards. You can also become a repeat guest on our podcast where you can come over and advertise your goods and services. Yes, $10 a month subscription. So thank you everybody for being a part of this journey with us. Together, we can continue to make a lasting impact and spread positivity. I don't know where you're listening to me from right now. Yes, you who's listening to me. I don't know where you're listening to me from. I don't even know what you know about yourself. Neither do I know what the people around you know about you. But here is one thing that John, myself, one thing that I know about you for sure, like certainly, is that you have greatness within you. You have all it takes to transition from where you are to where you want to be. You have all it takes to become the best version of yourself. And remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Thank you, everybody. Stay blessed and bye for now.